Where to now is the big question for the Collingwood Football Club. They went all stocks in the trade period. They brought in Dan Houston. They brought in Harry Perryman. They opted to go for mature age players, and they weren't able to bring home the Premiership Flag. Dominated 3/4 of the season, but then that last back end of the season really fell off, lost their top place on the ladder, and only just scraped in to 4th place to get their second chance and went out in a preliminary final. Let's see how I went with the preseason predictions for the Collingwood Football Club. Let's go. As I mentioned, the Collingwood Football Club finished 4th on the ladder, but really they would be upset that they didn't get that top spot and fell away to the back end. I know they kept saying it wasn't a big deal, but it would have had to weigh heavy on their mind the way they were falling off, and they weren't able to get back into the form that they were in that first half to 3/4 of the season, home and away season. Was it because of old age and old buddies going down? Is it Nick Dacos or bust? That's the big question that the Collingwood Football Club will have in this preseason. In 2024, they finished 9th, and then I predicted them to finish 6th. So they did exceed my expectations, booking a top 4 and a second chance spot of 4th. But again, I'm very nervous as a Collingwood supporter for 2026. Look out for, I said, Pat Lipinski. I thought he had an exceptional 2024 season. And again, was solid. Wasn't exceptional. Excuse me. Wasn't exceptional, but was solid. Real role player, runs hard, very clean with ball in hand. It's the type of player, I think Brody Mychek has mentioned, who is recently departed, but Pat Lipinski is the one player that he would love being on the end of a kick inside forward 50. So across these 23 matches in 2025, he averaged 17.2 disposals, 5.3 score involvements, and kicked the 10 goals, playing that wing half forward role. Best game was round 15 v St Kilda, 26 disposals. He had 2 goals, 10 score involvements, 9 marks, and laid the 5 tackles. So all in all, I'm going to give myself a tick for Pat Lipinski. 17.2 disposals and the 10 goals as a winger is a solid season, so I'm going to give myself a tick with that one. Now, my needs to lift was a massive tick, and this is another one of those what if or what could have been story. Ash Johnson, no games in 2025 and has found himself delisted without a contract. He definitely showed signs through his early career. Let me go through some of this things. So in 2022, he played just the 9 games but kicked 15 goals. But then in 2023, he came out with 15 games, kicked the 21 goals as an athletic forward, kicked 3 on 3 occasions in that 2023 season. And then only managed the 3 games in 2024 with a bit of injury problems and some mental health issues and personal issues as well. But Ash Johnson is another one of those could have been stories. Showed all the potential in the world, but I love he was an athletic type of forward, flew for his marks, but just wasn't able to put it together. It would be interesting to see what type of career he could have been, but he's another one that goes in the category of what could have been, or the what if players, in my opinion. In the shine category, I had the player that had his best career season at 33 years of age, and that is Jamie Elliott. Massive contract talks. It was thought that he was going to head over to Gold Coast. Collingwood only wanted to give him 1 year. And under cost money that he wasn't happy with. He wanted 2 for security. Collingwood weren't able to budge for that. Gold Coast were open to give him 2 or even 3, I think it was, to go over there. Eventually, Collingwood did give him that 2 years, and a well-deserved 2 years. Kicked 60 goals across his 25 matches this season, averaging 2.4 a game, and was probably one of the snubs of the All-Australian team. In my personal opinion, could have easily been on a bench or in a forward pocket. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe I'm being biased as a Collingwood supporter, but what an exceptional season he had. As I mentioned, 60 goals, averaged 12 disposals, and 5.1 marks a game. Came Collingwood's main focal point as a player that isn't tall either. Only stands at 177 centimeters, but can play lower the ground, but can also play taller than he is, the way he flies higher for marks and takes marks overhead, and his ground level play as well. Quick to pounce on the ball when he needs to crumb. His best game was round 7 v Essendon, where he had 19 disposals, kicked the 5 goals, took 8 marks, and had 11 score involvements. But that wasn't the only game where he shined. He kicked 6 in round 9 v Fremantle. Absolutely dominated. Kicked 5 goals on 3 occasions. 3 occasions as a 177 centimetre forward, who obviously plays taller than he is, but 5 on 3 occasions against Essendon, North Melbourne, Hawthorn. And then 4 on 3 occasions. 1 against Carlton, another against Adelaide in the qualifying final, and against Brisbane in the preliminary final. So he was one of the better performed players for the Magpies in the final, showing that he was up to the big stage. He was ready to go. Unfortunately, he wasn't. He nearly kept them in the game against Brisbane in that preliminary final. Unfortunately, the story didn't end the way that they would have liked, but what an exceptional season by Jamie Elliott. I would have been sorry what Collingwood would have been in absolute dying straits if he had gone to the Gold Coast with Brody Mychek gone to Melbourne, because then who are they kicking to? You can't rely on Tim Membry and Dan McStay, obviously, with his body. Jack Bull are coming across as well. We don't know what type of player he will be, but showed a little bit of promise, so hopefully he can be something. But it's so good for the Pies that Jamie Elliott did stay, because they would have been in some real trouble as a focal point and being able to put scores on the board if he wasn't there in 2026. Well, there you have it, guys. There is my review of my pre-season predictions for the Collingwood Football Club. All in all, I've done pretty well. 2 spots off where I predicted them to be on the ladder. They finished 2 spots higher. I had them finishing 6th. They finished 4th. Look out for a tick for me, Pat Lipinski. I thought he was pretty solid for the season. 17.2 disposals and the 10 goals. Needs to lift, massive tick for me, Ash Johnson. Best wishes out to Ash Johnson and whatever he goes on to do further on in his life, because he has been listed. So best of luck to Ash Johnson and his future endeavours. But that's another massive tip for me. And obviously shine was Jamie Elliott, 60 goals in 25 matches in 2025. Most goals he's ever kicked in a season. Best career season at the age of 33. What a magnificent year it was for Jamie Elliott. But the big question is, where to now for Collingwood in 2026? That's a question that we'll answer in our preview episodes at a later date. But for now, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for listening and watching along. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to leave a like and comment on this video. Hit that subscribe button and turn the notification bell on so you don't miss whenever we upload. If you listen to this via Spotify and Apple Podcasts, make sure to hit that follow button, leave a like and comment, turn the notification bell on so you don't miss whenever we upload. Share this off to a mate who you think might enjoy it. And please, guys, remember to leave a 5-star rating if you do enjoy the show, as that does get it out to new listeners. Thank you guys for watching. And until next time, I'll see you guys then.